as promised, this week, we're going to go over our top 5 pitching transfer classes for this year. Make sure you subscribe and comment below with your thoughts. We would love to know how you would rank the pitching transfer classes for this season, and please tell us why. So we rank these classes based on stats and potential impact that these pitchers could have on their teams.
So coming in at number 5, we have LSU. So with losing Brazon, LSU was able to pick up 2 pitchers. Both upperclassmen have experience, in bigger games. And
between Salura and Monticelli, right, they have 21 wins between them, over 100 strikeouts. Salura has a sub 2.3 ERA and only 20 walks in 150 plus innings, which is huge. And then Monticelli obviously has a lot of experience playing against big teams coming from OU. However, the one thing that really stands out to me is that she had 13 walks and 21 innings of work this year.
Obviously, I played with Peyton at OU and wishing her well. And I'm hoping that she has a lot of success when she gets there. Obviously working with a new staff and a new team. So I'm hoping that dynamic is going to be good for her. Coming in at number 4, we have an unexpected Arizona. I know throughout the past couple years, a lot of people have been transferring out, and then you have grads and stuff. So I think it was kind of essential for their program to be able to bring some people in.
Absolutely.
And picked up some good pitchers.
Yeah, they really did. Adams and Berry. Adams had a sub 2.2 ERA last season with Iowa, a 1.07 whip, which is really good. And between the two of them, 32 wins, 150 plus strikeouts. So you can imagine how much that's really going to impact the program this year to bring 2 pitchers in that can get that amount of wins. And Adams by herself had 25, just 25-6 last season.
So with Adams coming in as a senior and Janae Berry coming in as a sophomore, it's an interesting pitcher dynamic because obviously you have like a seasoned vet that can either, mentor or lead a staff, right? And then you have Berry coming in with 1 year under her wings, who it's nice to be coming into a program where you're able to look up to a senior or have someone to kind of guide you and mentor you. I know I had that coming in as a freshman. It completely changed my experience. So I think that's a good thing to have in a staff. Taking the number 3 spot, we have Tennessee. They picked up 1 pitcher, Maddie Rutan. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Maybe Rutan. Hopefully one of us is right.
Sorry.
We apologize.
Out of all of the pitchers in our rankings, she has the lowest whip. And she's coming from a smaller school from Eastern Kentucky. Based on her numbers, it looks like she's going to be very valuable to Tennessee.
Absolutely. Last season with Eastern Kentucky, she was 18-10. She had a 2.9 ERA and 227 strikeouts, and her whip was 1.02. So she is very effective in the mound, even though her ERA is maybe a little bit higher. I think with the defense at Tennessee, that could come down. Granted, I don't know anything about Eastern Kentucky. I don't follow them, but I know Tennessee and their defense is stellar. Yeah, she had 55 walks in 176 innings last year, so she's not messing around. She's going right at hitters, and she gave up 14 home runs in 33 appearances, so she keeps the ball in the yard pretty well.
Not only do we think that she's going to be able to produce in the circle, but also at the plate. So she hits as well, and at Eastern Kentucky was very successful with a batting average of .413, 61 RBIs, 13 home runs, so she's able to produce, sounds like, a lot of power. So I'm excited to see her play in the upcoming year. I think she'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I do too.
There's not a lot of times this sentence has come out of my mouth, but coming in at number 2 is OU. So as mentioned before, Brazon came from LSU to OU, and then we also picked up Guachino. As kind of mentioned in our last video, we think bringing, these 2 pitchers in with the staff that OU has too is also going to be very fun to watch, at least for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see those 2 at OU, especially Brazon. Primarily a drop ball pitcher. She keeps the ball in the yard. She had a sub 2.5 ERA. Between the 2 of them, they bring 33 wins and 250 plus strikeouts. So they're going to help the defense be even more efficient and keep more runners off base with what they can do. Yeah, so between the 2 of them, Brazon had a 1.2 whip and Guachino had a 1.37 whip. My concern with Guachino is in 147 innings pitched last year, she had 81 walks and 23 hit by pitches. And now I don't really mind the 23 hit by pitches, but that's well over 100 extra people on base that can cause some issues. Now, I will say, all the stats that we're talking about were just from the 2025 season, which for Brazon specifically was significantly less effective than her first 2 seasons at LSU. So I definitely think that she's going to be as effective as she was her freshman and sophomore seasons.
I also think it's great because Oklahoma is a team that loves defense. So when they have a pitcher that's feeding ground balls, the defense loves that. They love to get behind it, and it'll just be a lot more fun for everybody. So I think the team will be able to kind of rally behind that on defense. Earning the number 1 spot, we have, drum roll please, Georgia. They brought in 2 pitchers, Addison Fisher and Maddie Johnson, both phenomenal pitchers.
Unfortunately, stats are kind of how you can't not look at stats. It's not the whole picture.
Yeah, my thing is like I want the full picture, but I don't know the full picture. But going off of stats makes it feel like I'm not treating these people as people. Person over athlete, person over stats. Actually, can every pitcher that we've talked about just like get on a FaceTime or something so we can get to know you better as people?
That'd be great. Yeah, so both Fisher and Johnson have a sub-3 ERA. Fisher's whip was 1.29. Johnson is 1.08. Those are pretty good. 28 wins between the two of them, 200 plus strikeouts. Again, I think both of them are going to come in and just have a really big impact on that program. So in my mind, we ranked Georgia above OU. I mean, like Nicole and I agreed on these rankings, but in my mind, the difference was the walks. Free bases are always going to come back to bite you. And so Fisher and Johnson combined had just over 80 walks, and Guacchino had that by herself. So to me, that was the big difference between the two classes, because everywhere else, they're very similar. They're very, very good pickups for both programs, but that was the deciding factor for me. And both of them had single-digit home runs that they gave up last year. So they're both, Fisher and Johnson are keeping the ball in the yard.
And Georgia's always been a really good program, scrappy team. So it'll be fun to see them get 2 good pitchers out of the portal. And there you have it, folks. So that was our top 5 transfer classes based on pitchers only. If you missed out on our last video, we did our top 5 overall ranking. So be sure to go check that one out. And stay tuned for next week's video where we're going to dive into a recap of my experience playing overseas this summer. Bye.